know what you're thinking. Yeah, another PD about Canvas modules. But no, it is so much different than that. Today, your PD will be delivered to you through the eyes of social studies teachers just like you. In this Canvas lesson today, you will hear from renowned teachers in social studies, and they will tell you about their grows and goals with Canvas and share their experiences, their process for planning, creating templates, and creating lessons utilizing Tier 1 resources. Hope you enjoy. See you soon.
Building effective Canvas modules and virtual lessons in secondary social studies. My name is Chandra Phillips, and I am the secondary social studies teacher and learning specialist for grades 6 through 12. Objective. By the end of this session, participants will understand the process of building an effective instructional module in Canvas utilizing social studies curriculum. As a result, teachers will build effective instructional modules utilizing Tier 1 social studies resources. Our agenda for today. Goal 1, understanding the planning process. We want to provide teachers with a model of what the planning process looks like before you actually begin to build your module. Goal 2, give examples of templates and show teachers how they can be used to make creating modules easier. Goal 3, provide teachers with a middle school model of what a module should look like. Goal 4, to provide teachers with a high school model of a lesson and what it should look like in Canvas. Understanding the planning process. Plan with the proper tools, scope and sequence, SNS guides, pacing guides, companion documents, and backwards design, planning with the end in mind. Remember to have clear objectives and provide an agenda. What form of assessments you will use, whether they be formative or summative assessments. Outline your modules. Decide what Canvas tools and resources you will use ahead of time. Now, let's talk about the planning and organization. Step 1 is to outline your modules and make a plan using resources. Step 2, create activities utilizing Canvas with other online tools that are engaging to students. So how do we organize this? For one, design modules to be user-friendly for parents and students. Outline your activities clearly. Make your lessons engaging utilizing Canvas and online tools. Utilize Tier 1 resources from the Louisiana Department of Education and Caddo Parish Public Schools, such as your scope and sequence, companion documents, SNS guides, etc. Now, we will hear from Ms. Emanuel from Caddo Middle Magnet. She teaches grades 6 and 8, and she will describe her planning process when she designs her Canvas module.
I am in the process of developing my module for the week. And as you can tell, I've already created a skeleton for this week's module. We set up our modules by weeks. And so since we're in the third 9 weeks and this is the second week, and you see I have everything dated because I want my students to understand that everything for Monday is dated Monday with the date January 25th. And then you see the breakdown for Tuesday and so forth. I start off with the basic skeleton because I know for a fact I'm going to have a daily agenda as well as a bell ringer. And once I have that put in place, then I will start building the activities and placing them into the module as well, right behind the correct date. Normally, I will save my daily agenda for last, as far as to type in to make sure that I have everything put in place. And then, of course, I normally start with my bell ringer because I kind of have those laid out already. Now, I guess I'm kind of old school because I just don't start right there. As I get ready to prepare for the next week, you can tell I write my notes down on what I want to include in my module as far as what activities I might need to create, tweak, what have you. So this is my Louisiana history module, and we're going to work on the Bourbons and the Populace of Groups of Louisiana. So we finished up the split page of note-taking activity that's in the scope and sequence. And like I said, you can't see all of the stuff that I have around, but I have my scope and sequence. I have a copy of my SNS guide. So I have everything that I need right here in front of me so I can pull from and make sure that I have everything in place. So we finished the scope, we finished the split page note-taking activity last week. And so we're going to go over that information as a review tomorrow. But then I wanted something that the kids can do to make sure that I knew that they understand the difference between the two political parties. And so I have on my note to create some type of sorting activity that will be like a drag and drop of activity, because I'll just be honest with you, a lot of the scope and sequences reads this, discuss this, answer these questions, and so forth. So even though we do that, I'd still try to make it kind of interactive for the students as well, not just us sitting there talking and having a discussion. I want us to be able to do something with the information. So for Monday, after the bell ringer and after we review the information from the split page, just to bring some things back to their remembrance, then we will have a little sorting activity, a little drag and drop activity. And I already have the information laid out on my notebook paper. So all I have to do is just import that information in and make it a drag and drop activity and then put it into the module. My key thing is when I come up with various activities for the week or for my activities, I want to make sure that it's an activity that's clear enough, not only for my students that are in the classroom, but also my virtual students as well. But the main thing is to plan, to make sure that you are detailed enough that the students, as well as any stranger that can come in your classroom, will be able to understand what you're supposed to be, or what they're supposed to be doing in your classroom.
Creating a template. Step 3, creating a template that works for you and your students. Remember, key elements of a template should have something such as a bell ringer or opener for your lesson, a model or guided practice activity such as an I do or we do, an independent practice assignment, an assessment, whether it be summative or formative, to see if students are mastering their objectives and their learning goals for the day. And then also provide a lesson closure. These are key elements when creating a template. Now, we will hear from Mrs. Ferguson from Uri Drive 6th grade, and she explains her templates and how she utilizes them when planning a Canvas module.
Hi, my name is Catherine Ferguson. I teach at Uri Drive Middle AP Magnet School, and these are some of my suggestions for building your weekly modules. One of the things that I like to do when building my modules is I created a template at the very beginning of the school year. So each week, all I have to do is come over here and create a copy. So copy to, or you could even just simply duplicate it. And that makes your weekly planning just a little bit easier to have your week laid out in a standard format. And then when my students see their modules, I have them so that the most recent information is at the top and the earliest information that we studied is at the very bottom. That way they're not having to hunt for their materials for the week. When students open their module for the week, they actually get to see all of the activities that we're going to be working on. Their activities may not be open for them to complete until the day of the activity. However, they see a standard for what the week is going to look like and the activities that we're going to be completing. So my students usually follow a very standard routine. I think that this year, especially at the middle school level, routines are essential. My students start their days with a bell ringer. We work through the activities, and then we finish up with an exit ticket. I routinely have a few students who are my early finishers, and so I try to incorporate study materials for those, for example, a Quizlet, and then a study guide answer key to assist them. And then you see here that my Tuesday follows that same standard pattern. The activities may differentiate, the pacing may be a little bit different from day to day, but the format stays very similar so that my students who are joining me both in person as well as virtual, have a very clear path of what the expectations are for that day. Another thing that I do is I incorporate the use of spaces within my module to differentiate between each day's activity. When we started this school year, one of the things that I noticed is that a lot of times kids kind of got lost in the information. And so by having a standard format, by incorporating spaces into my information, I was better able to serve the needs of my students. But I hope this information is helpful. It's just a couple of quick, easy hints that you can incorporate into your planning. I hope that each of you is having a wonderful school year. Good luck. Take care.
The lesson itself. In step 4 and 5, we will look at a Canvas module from a middle school teacher and from a high school teacher, and also hear from these teachers as they talk about their process and what helps them when they create lessons in Canvas. Ms. Salinas from Uri Drive, 7th grade, she will review her module, Canvas lesson.
And today what I want to go through is what our modules look like here at Uri Drive and show you all what makes a really good module for students to go through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and talk you through our module thought process. So looking at our modules, the first thing that you can see is that we break down our modules for every single week. Breaking down the week's modules prevents the modules from getting too overworked, and it really shows the kids what needs to be completed week by week. And it also helps them keep track of their due dates. Another thing that week by week modules does is it helps kids be able to find work if they are missing. If my students are missing something from previously done that month, I can say, you're missing this assignment from week 14. Go back and find it, and please complete it. So when we look at our modules, you will very easily be able to point out that our modules are broken down by day. So you see Monday, you see Tuesday, you see Wednesday, you see Thursday, and you see Friday. Within the day, we always start with an objective or some kind of general instruction up at the top. After the objective, it is going to go straight into the bell ringer. We try to keep the bell ringer very limited. It is going to be a short quiz that contains document-based questions. These document-based questions can be seen using the Skills and Sequence guide. And we make that into a quiz. Canvas grades it for you, and it is very easy to go over with your students. After the bell ringer, the next thing that it moves to is it moves to the assignment for the week or for that day. For the Unit 3 vocabulary, this was a weekly assignment. It has a due date of December 4th. Because the due date is not until Friday, the kids know that they have until Friday to work on it. And so they know that this is not an assignment that needs to be completed today. Once they hit the next button, it is going to go to an assignment called the George Washington Hyperdoc. The George Washington Hyperdoc is due December 2nd. So they know that this is something that needs to be worked on in class because that is just a few days from then. At the end of each class period, we always have an exit ticket. This is how they know that that work for the day is finished. By organizing your modules like this, it is very clear for students to see what is expected of them that day, as well as for that week. Students know that each day starts with a bell ringer and it ends with an exit ticket. The main thing with modules is you want them to be organized. Organization is key when using Canvas. If your modules are clear, consistent, and organized, then you are going to have students who know how to work your modules, they know where to find the assignments, they know where to look for due dates, and they're going to be much more successful than having a unorganized module in Canvas. Breaking it down by day shows them everything that they need to do in that one class period. I hope you learned something from my module breakdown here on Canvas. If you have
Now we will hear from Ms. Deck and Mr. Anding from Huntington High School, and they will discuss how they plan and utilize resources in Canvas to create modules for U.S. history.
Hello, come on in. We got something that we want to talk about. We want to welcome you to a special edition of Raider Real Talk. I'm Mr. Anding.
And I'm Miss Deck.
All right, so normally our students would be our audience, but for this episode, we are sending it and broadcasting it to you all. Our topic of discussion for today is Canvas and U.S. history.
Yeah, so we're going to talk today just a little bit about what's worked for us this year that we found to be very effective. We're going to share our screen with you too, so you can see how our modules are set up. But there have been a few things with trial and error, which that's what this year's been for everybody. But some of these things have really been effective for us and for our kids. So one of the main things with us is consistency.
Consistency. And let me tell you, for myself as a new teacher, first year teacher, being paired with a veteran teacher, we have found that that style works for the both of us, being consistent since the beginning of the school year. Again, trial and error, so some stuff we had to kind of work through, but we found our rhythm, we found our groove, and we kind of stay in that vein.
Right. We do hear some kids talking about, certain classes they have, the due dates are always different, or the assignments always look different, or I have to log in this way, or I have to log in that way. And so that gives them anxiety, and you start to get stuff that's not turned in. So with us, I will say every Monday we post the entire week for our kids. One of the things that was a little trial and error that we had to figure out is, how U.S. history, or any history that you teach, any history that you teach, is in chronological order. So you want them to do their assignments in order. And so what our kids were doing, some of them, we're going to find the easiest ones or the quickest ones.
Right.
And I'll do that, but I don't really want to do this one that takes a minute. So,
or I don't want to watch your videos, right? So these videos are informative. I don't want to watch them. We made tutorials, right? So that was one of the big things. Anytime we introduce a new concept or new topic, we have tutorials that we have for the kids. But I don't want to watch it. I just want to do it all on my own. So
then they would do it wrong. And so, but it was because they didn't watch the video, because they didn't want to. So one of the things we did that was very helpful is to, as we post the assignments in order, each one is locked until you do the one prior to. So you can't do this down here until you do this one.
Exactly.
And that has worked best for us because it forces them to go in order.
And our kids appreciate it, right?
Believe
it or not, they appreciate it. They like that sense of order. They like the sense of direction. And the other thing that we have within our modules when we share our screen and show it to you is we have variety, right? So the module is normally set in the same order, but we give them a variety of assignments to try. Whether it is a quiz, we'll throw a quiz in there. Video quizzes within Canvas, we use those. Nearpod, we'll pull those in. Canvas, all those things.
Yeah, document analysis. And usually a lot of their document analysis kind of look the same way.
Right.
And so they know how that works. They know that they're supposed to highlight their evidence. Like that's the same way every single week. We do throw in vocabulary.com that we do, but we do try to make the week different and exciting, but there is consistency the way the modules are laid out, and they know the due date's always the same. The whole week's going to be posted on Monday. Everything's going to be locked. You have to go in order. And that just took really in the beginning, a couple of weeks for them to figure that out. And like Mr. Anding said, we do our talk show every Friday. It's just informative and things that have happened during the week that we needed to address, what's coming up the next week. And the kids like that too, and they appreciate knowing what's coming up
Right.
and that it looks the same every single week.
And we log the library of this. So like every
Yeah.
video we record it, we log into a Zoom. The kids have a weekly invite that they come in. We have it at 9 o'clock. We've been turning out record numbers going into the third week of school.
Yeah.
And we use it, we incentivize it, right, to get them to come in just to have fun. So we dress up like for occasions. I've been a farmer. Ms. Deck has been a cowgirl.
Yeah,
She's been a
cowgirl.
cowgirl. So
Yeah.
like we just made it fun and interactive for the kids. We allow them to express any concerns. So we've done quite a bit of things to make this fun and exciting as we tackle on this new learning management system that is Canvas.
And we do get a lot of our traditional kids that log on every Friday, but we also get a lot of our virtual kids.
Yes.
Because we still have a lot of those, and we're still getting them logged on Friday too, so they can be up to speed. But we don't have to address the way the assignments are done or anything like that, because they know they are going to look the same every single week, at least set up the same every single week.
So a lot of times we just spend that time to reiterate like content and stuff like that, just expectations, and just to encourage them to hear, if they have any concerns or whatnot. It's really a fun time for them and for us to just get in that mode. So,
and we also have a place on our Canvas where we do post those tutorials the first time we do a different kind of assignment. But then we also have a button that says tutorials. So if they ever need to revisit, a reminder, a refresher, those are all in one place too, that I can go back and look. How did she do that document analysis? How did she do that button so right in Revolution? Then that's
sentence fragments.
Yeah, sentence fragments. That's in the tutorial button where they're all together too. So it's an easy find. So you want to show them?
Yes, I will share. I'm going to share my screen now and kind of just show you a couple other modules that we have. So I am doing it right now. We're sharing our screen. So this is a first period U.S. history class. I'm going to take you back to Ms. Deck's home screen. So from here, like my page sets up to come straight to the modules. Ms. Deck's page comes to this first. And so the students just go down and they look for their assignments button, right? So however you have it, you can link the modules to this button right here. And if you notice on this side, we have all these extra pages like assignments and stuff. We have those blocked. So like the kids don't even see this on their Canvas pages.
Right. One of the problems we were having was they would go to the to-do list and work from the to-do list or try to work from assignments. Well, if something's not an assignment, it wasn't showing up, like the tutorial or like a short video that didn't have a quiz in it. So we didn't want them doing that at all. So we just eliminated that option for them on the left-hand side altogether.
All right, so this is a look at this week's, and I'm gonna click on a couple modules and you'll see that they're all set the same. We have our headers for our dates, so they know this is all Monday's work. This is all Tuesday's work. And within these assignments, like it kind of expands a little bit more. Notes, like if there's something that they have to write, we record them on with the Elmo, and the students write down the notes that we have there. They watch the video and write down the notes.
And so Mr. Andy, when he set these up too, he's real clear about telling them what it is, if it's handwritten notes. And we have found that those videos of writing those notes and talking just like you would in class have been real helpful for the kids too.
If you look over here on the side of our modules, with the exception of this one, this was midterm that was put on there. It's a quiz, but all of them says complete all items. And the way that you get this on here, I'll show you that, is let's look at week 3, unit 3, week 17. So every one of them is dated. So if you click on these 3 dots here and click on edit, this is where you can set requirements. So you want to click must move through requirements in sequential order, and you want to say they have to complete all. Like here is just one. So if you click this button, it's just one. And the way you just add the requirement, go in your list, find it, right? So if it's pages, they have to view the page, they have to mark it as done. And so midterm study guide, I can set it to where they have to mark this as done before they can move on to the next thing. And that has really helped us a lot with making sure
Yes.
that students aren't just skipping around
Right.
and cherry picking the
Yes.
assignments that they want to complete. What was-
Exactly.
I've got to look at reference this note. Let's look at unit 2. So week 13.
Mhm.
One thing that we also want to show you is we have a variety of assignments. So video quizzes. So you access these by Canvas. So you will put the video in Canvas.
In Studio,
Yeah.
right.
In Studio, yes.
And
thank
they'll
you.
let you, what also we found, if you hide those questions, which you can do in Studio, if you hide where the question is and don't mark it, then they have to watch the video because they don't know where the question is.
Yes.
We found if you marked where the question was, and you probably know this already, but they'll skip to the question. So,
Right. And the thing about the video quizzes though is that it's limited to true, false, multiple choice, and multiple answer.
Right.
But if it's a video that's informative that you need them to watch, I think that's a small price to pay to get them. And it grades it for you. Like you don't have to
Yeah.
go in there and grade it. You set the answers
Yeah.
and it grades it for you. We have expanded sentence activities. So when we look at this, I'm gonna click on it. So when we look at this, you'll see that this is one of, I want to say, Kami assignments. So this assignment loads up in Kami. It's a PDF that we have that the students are able to write on. So these are just a few of the things that we have. Quizzes.
right. And
all
you
that.
can see how when he goes back to the list of all our weeks, I think
Oh, and there it finally wants to come up, but I clicked
Yeah.
out of it now.
when he goes back to all our weeks, they look exactly the same.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
the kids, you can tell every unit that you click on every week, Monday through Thursday comes up, everything looks identical.
Because our internet is kind of running slow. The other thing that we do that works for us is, so like when this week is over, let me just scroll down to like this one. You notice this is like not green, so it's not published. They can't see anything in this module. So we hide the previous modules, so that's less confusing
Right.
for our students
Right.
as well.
There's no guesswork. The only thing that pops up when they click on the week, like say on Monday, is this week. So
It's
they
not
don't
a
have to go through and we do lock ours.
Oh, yeah.
We have a due date, a due time at the end of the week. And then everything is locked. So.
Everything is locked. So we hope that this has been helpful to you. We look forward to like working a little bit more in the future, sharing some of the things that we do. And thank you again. This is our special edition of Raider Real Talk. Again, I'm Mr. Anding.
And I Miss Dak.
And you all have a great day. Well, let me stop sharing, and you all have a great day.
Thank you for participating with us today. I look forward to reviewing your Canvas modules in Canvas and hearing from you during our collaboration on March 30th. Have a great day.
Steps. Design a weekly module template. Plan a lesson utilizing key components of the Canvas tools. Write a reflection on your planning process. Join us for our next collaboration meeting to discuss the grows and glows. Our collaboration meeting will be via Zoom. The Zoom information is 925-3173-8151. Passcode 660643. Date March 30th, 2021. Time 4:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. I look forward to seeing you then. Remember, if you have any questions, we are happy to help. My name is Chandra Phillips. I am the Secondary Social Studies Teaching and Learning Specialist. My email is cmphillips@cattleschools.org. My office number is 318-603-5809. From the Department of Teaching and Learning, I have enjoyed working with you today.